Why? Why is this? Why is everybody in bad form? Because I think that's the notion that... Oh, jeez, stop. I think that's the notion...
It's the pig.
I think that's the notion that the people in the north of Ireland believe I wouldn't satisfy them people to let them know. Now, Bill and a couple of other people asked me not to curse here, but it's imperative that I curse when I tell you this. There's an old situation that says an American guy walks down the road. He looks up at the hill. It's a lovely sunny day. And this guy has a lovely house. He has a nice car and the children are playing on the swings. And the American guy says, wow, someday I'm going to be like that guy. 10 minutes later, the Irishman walks down the street. The boy from Belfast, wherever he's from, he walks up, he looks at the same picture. Lovely house, children playing on the swings, nice car. He says, Jesus, someday I'm going to shoot that bastard. That's the way people are here. They love to see you trying, but then they hate you when you succeed. The old statement you get is, I remember Daly when he hadn't an arse in his trousers. Well, the only difference is now the arse is just slightly bigger than it used to be. So, the opportunities are there for us all the time, and people complain through their lives, I didn't get the same chances as you got, or you were lucky, you found this, or you were always blessed, you found this. Maybe people are going about with their eyes open. There's the story about the man and floods were coming. And it was going to swamp the whole area where he lived. He was a very religious man, whatever his God was, and he prayed every day, did whatever he had to do. And he believed that his faith was going to keep him. Everything was going to be grand. So the floods were coming. His neighbours came and they knocked on the door. Come on, come with us. We'll get you out here. The floods are coming. He says, no, I'm all right. I've been good all my life. I'm going to be grand. So that was all right. Then the floods come up, sort of halfway up the stairs, and he was sort of looking out the top window, and the army came past in a boat. I said, come on, jump in here, we'll save you. It's all right. My God's going to look after me. The floods went up, and he was standing on the chimney pot, just about getting the head up over the water, and the army came along again with a helicopter, throw him down the rope. Come on, jump. It's all right, God's going to look after me. So he drowned. And he got to heaven, and St. Peter was just standing inside, and he says, oh, come on here, what happened? I was good all my life. Why didn't you look after me? He says, St. Peter says, I sent you your neighbours, I sent you the army, and I sent you the helicopter. The opportunities are there for us all. So all we have to do is take them. Now, Henry Ford said, probably a very ignorant man, and he, nasty, he didn't suffer fools, but he came out with some gems. My favourite one of his was, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're probably right. Now, when I heard it, I heard it with another couple of people, and they all laughed, and I giggled, and oh yes, I had to go home and write it down to make sure that I understood it right. But this is where I step into my poetry bit. Right? I'm going to read this to you because there's a few books that have made a big difference in my life. That's one of them. Think and Grow Rich. And it was recommended to me by a man that I would call my mentor, a guy called Bob Safford. He left the American Marines at 23 years of age, about 5'6", you know, and he had small man syndrome really badly. Really hates me, you know. Well, he doesn't hate me, but you know, he dislikes me because I'm much taller than he is. And he reads this thing 5 times a year, every year. So it was written by Napoleon Hill in 1922, and it's still very real for today. So I'll just read you this bit, and it just lets you see that life is going to give you what you ask, and you're going to get what you deserve. So it says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is just an employer, and he gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. So I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. So I think that explains the fact that it's out there. All we have to do is go and get it. We have to ask for it. I want A and B and C, and I am going to get it by means of hard work in the areas of A and B and C. And if we can get that message across to more and more people, then we can bring the North of Ireland back to the importance that it used to have. It was a very important place at this stage, at one stage. Belfast was the second most important dock in the world at one day. And now, what is it? It's somewhere that they're going to build apartments in. Loads of apartments. So, throughout my life, I always wanted to be a success, and I aspired to be this man, and I aspired to be this person, and all that type of stuff. I tried to walk different, I tried to talk different. I had my hair, when I had hair, a wee bit different than it is now, obviously. But it took me a long time to realise that the best thing I can be is me. I'm never going to be a great dancer. That wouldn't really bother me. I'm never going to be a great footballer, which will annoy me till the day I die. I'm never going to be the best man in the world to chat up women, but I managed to get one, and I'm going to hold on to her. But the best thing I can do is to be me. And if my skills at just spotting what opportunities are there, I don't have to do it. Henry Ford was once named in the New York Times as being a very ignorant man. Now, it didn't mean he was farting in lifts or anything like that there. But it meant that he wasn't an educated man of the world. So he took them to court. And this set to prove that he was an ignorant man, an uneducated man. So they went up and asked him all these questions. Questions, general knowledge questions. And it was brilliant. He didn't know the answers to any of them. But he insulted them at every occasion. One of the questions he was asked was, how many troops did the British send over to quell the rebellion in 1762? And he said, I don't know, but I'm sure a hell of a lot less went back. Brilliant line, brilliant line. So this question went on for a while, and he got annoyed and finished up. He says, listen, let me explain to you the setup in my office. I have a huge desk, and on my desk there's a line of silver buttons. And if I need any question answered, I can press one of them buttons, and any one of those minnows will go and find out what I want to know. That's because that's their area of expertise. I have mine, they have theirs. I'm not going to clutter up my brain trying to be all things to all men. So, I believe everybody has a certain amount of opportunity. You have that much chance. It says in the Bible about the landlord that went and gave 3 of his servants a gold piece, a gold coin. And one went, and he says, there's no way I'm going to lose this. He took it away. It wasn't a South Armagh man anyway, but he took it away and he buried it, right? And he said, that's going to be 100% there. Second fellow went away and invested it. Third fellow went away and invested it. The second fellow made 2 gold coins. Third fellow made 3. So when the landlord came back, he says, well, how did you get on? First fellow come back, he says, right, I have 3 gold coins. Fair play to you. Second, I only have 2 gold coins, but I did well. Third fellow come along and he had buried it. And I think, in my humble opinion, that symbolises your talent, or your chance, or your opportunity. And people bury it. I think there's 3 things you can do with it. You can take it, and you can do nothing. You can bury it. And you can see, it blows my mind when you hear people on TV and on radio, 3rd generation unemployed. 3 generations, 3 lifetimes, and they weren't unlucky enough to stumble into a job once. Who was it? Christy Moore said, any danger of a start? So you can take it and you can bury that opportunity. Now, you can take it also and you can rent it to somebody else in the form of a job. As I said earlier on, they pay you enough money so you don't leave, and you do enough work so they don't sack you. And you rent it for a hell of a lot less than it's worth. Or you can take, in my opinion, the right option for me is to take it and try and mould it into a fantastic, or as fantastic as I can make it, future for me and my family. Now, I don't want big pots of money. I don't want to be sitting counting stuff. I believe money's for distribution. That's what it is. It's to help me pay my family's mortgages and help me to give that money away, because I get far more satisfaction out of it that way. So, the statistics show. Now, this was a survey done on 65-year-olds that were retiring, right? Out of 165-year-olds retiring today, 1 will be wealthy.